Hi guys, I'm Eileen. Welcome to my channel. So today I want to talk to you guys about the handbags that can keep their value very well and might even make you some money in the long run. Now to me, this is a bit different from if a bag is worth the money, because generally if a handbag is well made and if it brings you a lot of joy and you get a lot of use out of it, then it's probably worth the money. However, whether a handbag will hold the value is quite another story. But I think it is a factor that a lot of us will consider when buying a handbag. So today I want to share with you the 10 handbags that can keep their value very well in the long run. So the first handbag that can keep its value very well is certainly the Hermes Birkin. Now some people even say that buying a Birkin is a safer investment compared to buying stocks or gold. Now it might be true if you can manage to keep the handbag in a pristine condition. But I think the return is probably higher if the bag is in an exotic leather like the Himalaya Birkin. Now if you look at the second-hand market, these handbags are being sold at a much higher price compared to the retail price in the store. In fact, even a very tired looking Birkin can sell for 60 to 70% of the retail price, which I think is a good deal and a feature that not many handbags will share. In terms of sizes, now I know the Birkin that was designed for Jane Birkin was a 35, but I think the 25 and 30 are now more popular options, so that's why they tend to hold their value better. The next one is the Hermes Kelly. Now just like the Birkin, this handbag can hold its value very well because the demand is so high and the supply is limited. And of course the craftsmanship is amazing and exquisite, and both handbags have quite a history. In fact, the Kelly was launched way before the Birkin. This handbag is certainly a popular option for people who prefer to have a shoulder strap, and the sizes which are very in demand now are the 25 and the 28. The next one up is 32, but I know a lot of ladies think 32 is a bit too big on their frame. Now usually Hermes have a price increase of 10% every January. So this, together with the demand for these handbags, help them to keep their value very well. The next handbag that can keep its value very well is the Hermes Constance. Now according to my essay, a Constance can be harder to get compared to a Birkin or a Kelly. This is another iconic handbag from Hermes, and I think it's a very versatile design because you can wear it as a shoulder bag, on single strap or double strap, and you can also use it as a crossbody bag. Now just like the Birkin and the Kelly, every Constance bag is crafted by a single artisan, and it usually takes about 14 to 18 hours to create one. These handbags also come in different leathers, so the Epsom, Swift, box and suede. The Epsom leather is very popular because of the low maintenance features. It's very easy to clean, it's very light and scratch resistant. So a Constance in the Epsom leather is certainly very sought after in the second-hand market. Meanwhile, the box leather is a very gorgeous, smooth leather, but it also scratches very easily. So quite often, a lot of Constance bags in this leather will show signs of wear and tear, and this certainly would depreciate the value. The next one is the Louis Vuitton Neverfull. Now this is the perfect tote bag for a lot of people. It's designed to carry a lot of weight, so Louis Vuitton actually tested the bag by loading 3.5 kilograms into the bag and then dropping it from half a meter. So it's certainly a workhorse, so it's no surprise why people love to use it for work and travel. Personally, I'm not too keen about the big opening with no zipper, but it's certainly a good access for you to get in and out the bag. Now this handbag is a classic collection from Louis Vuitton, so it will never go out of fashion. Instead, it has a very steady price increase every year. So if you do decide to sell your bag in a few years' time, as long as you keep the bag in a good condition, you should be able to get a decent amount of money back. I know a lot of people love getting the Neverfull as their first luxury handbag, and the second-hand market is certainly an option that many people look at. The next handbag that can keep its value very well is the Louis Vuitton Speedy. Now the Speedy has been around since 1930, but a number of years ago, Louis Vuitton decided to add a little twist to the bag by adding a shoulder strap. Personally, I'm a big fan of this collection. I got the size 25 in 2011 at €650, which at that point was about £600, and now is worth £950. Now, just like any other handbag, you will get a better price if the bag is in a good condition, and the Damier Ebene is the perfect option for that. So mine is about 8 years old now, and I can hardly see any wear and tear. So the other two options are the classic monogram or the Damier Azur, but they both come with the untreated vachetta leather, which over time will develop a very nice patina. So some people might prefer to get it brand new from the store, but I also know a few people who prefer to skip the patina process and look at the pre-loved market. I've decided to include the Louis Vuitton mini palm spring backpack because I know it's very sought after. Now some people might think this is a trendy piece, but I think it might be here to stay because it has remained very popular. When I first laid my eyes on this, it was less than £1,000, and when I finally managed to get one, it was £360 more expensive. If you look at the second-hand market, this little guy is going for 20 to 30% higher than retail price. When I was searching high and low for this little guy, I actually went to quite a few stores and it was always out of stock, and eventually I managed to find one on the website. And in terms of wear and tear, I would say this bag is very easy to look after. I've used it a lot for 2 years and it's still looking brand new. The Louis Vuitton Metis shares a very similar story like the mini palm spring backpack. It's a relatively new design, but it has received so much love and attention. These bags, especially in the canvas version, so whether if it's the classic monogram or the reverse monogram, are in so much demand, and I've never seen these bags available in the store or on the website. And I'm sure you know by now what happens when the demand is so much higher than the supply. Now the Metis is also available in the Umpron leather, and they are actually more readily available. Personally, I think this bag in the reverse monogram looks fantastic, but because it's so popular, I don't think I'll be seeing this bag anytime soon. The next one is the Chanel Classic Double Flap. Now this bag has been around since 1955 and it remains the very iconic handbag that many people desire. I think this handbag has a very classic and versatile design, and it's the kind of handbag that will look very chic casually and very appropriate formally. Now we all know that Chanel can have very drastic price increases, and sometimes they even raise the price twice a year. So this is certainly a huge factor how these bags can keep their value so well. I bought this small flap in 2012 at £2,500, and the current retail price is now £3,800. So I'm quite sure if I was to sell this bag, I can at least get all my money back. In terms of leather, I think the caviar leather is very popular because it's quite scratch resistant and very easy to look after. Mine is now 7 years old and is still looking amazing. If you compare this handbag to the Chanel reissue, I think this handbag has a much better resale value. Personally, I think the reissue is a stunning looking bag and it's very understated, but I guess the demand is just not as high. I actually know 2 people who managed to get a Chanel reissue in a pristine condition at a fantastic price on the second-hand market. So this might be something you want to consider if you are deciding between the 2 options. The Chanel mini flaps, either in this rectangular shape or the square shape, are very sought after, and I can totally understand why, because they are ridiculously cute, very practical, and quite a bit cheaper compared to the classic double flaps. I've always said that a mini flap is a fantastic piece to start your collection. Now I know these bags can look like they belong to the classic double flap collection, but they are actually seasonal pieces. These are also notoriously hard to get, and usually, even before the release date, the waiting list can be very long already. And it's not uncommon that they sell out in the first 2 days of a new collection. So if you are interested in getting one, I would suggest to read on Purse forum to keep track of the release dates. And also go into the store and ask if you can be put on the waiting list. I bought mine 4 years ago at £1,680 and they are now costing £2,610, nearly £1,000 more expensive. So the last handbag that I think can hold the value very well is the Chanel Boy Flap. Now the Boy collection is more or less their permanent collection now, although they do bring out more interesting designs every season. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the Boy Flap because I think it's a bit boxy for me. Nevertheless, these are gorgeous bags and I know they are dream bags for a lot of people. The price of the Boy Flaps has gone up drastically over the years. In fact, the current price is nearly double of what it was when the collection was launched in 2011. I actually sold my new medium Chanel Boy Flap quite a number of years ago, and thanks to the price increases, I managed to get all my money back. So those are the 10 handbags that I think can hold their value very well, and it's certainly something I consider when making a purchase now. That said, I don't think you should be buying a handbag just because of the resale value. Because really, a handbag should be used and enjoyed, and if it happens to keep its value, then it's just icing on the cake. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Do consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.